So very good morning to all of you, the students of MBA third semester. And today we are going to start a new topic of Unit 1 of the subject Supply Chain and Logistics Management. And the topic for today's lecture is supply chain drivers. I'm Dr. Ritesh Singhal of your instructor, and I'll be taking to you towards a journey of this particular topic of supply chain driver, where we'll discuss what kind of drivers are there that used to drive, that used to motivate or keep mobilize the supply chain activities. So let's start with the topic. This is my second video. First video was related to supply chain stages of supply chain. Now we are talking about supply chain drivers. So this is particularly the popular framework of supply chain drivers. There are basically 6 drivers you can see. If we talk about the entire particular strategy of a company, so topmost strategies, the competitive strategy, obviously any company wants to be on the top, and there are certain competitors in their sector, and their competitive strategy would be should be the appropriate one or the optimized one, so that they can lead the supply, so that they can lead this particular competition. So there are competitive strategy, there are a number of competitive strategy are there, but if specifically we are talking about supply chain strategy today. So if we talk about supply chain strategies, so there are basically two sides of thinking for this particular strategy. One side is efficient driven, and another side is responsiveness driven. So efficiency driven and responsiveness driven. We talk about this thing in the coming video, in the coming slides. So especially the topic for today's lecture is drivers, supply chain drivers. So basically there are 6 drivers: facilities, inventory, transportation, information, sourcing, and pricing. Out of these 6 drivers, first 3 are called logistical drivers. So logistical drivers are facilities, inventory, and transportation. And rest 3 are called cross-functional drivers like information, sourcing, and pricing. So why the first 3 are called logistical driver? Because they used to drive the logistical uh, logistical part of the supply chain, and the rest 3 are basically responsible for cross-functional drivers, where we need to talk about different supply chain stakeholders and different supply chain partners, so that this chain can work efficiently and effectively. So basically, there are 6 drivers. We talk about one by one. First 3 are called logistical drivers, and the remaining 3 are called cross-functional drivers. So let us start with these drivers one by one, and we'll discuss what kind of strategies we should adopt, and how these drivers are important to run a particular supply chain. So first driver is facility and location. So obviously, for any organization, for any manufacturing organization, or maybe service organizations, the first and foremost important thing that used to drive the supply chain is the facility and location, where your facility located. So a location decision that emphasize responsiveness would be one where a company establish many locations that are close to its customer base. So generally, company used to establish a location where generally there are customers, or most of the companies are also thinking about in like this way, where the raw material are nearby. So the proximity of raw material, proximity of suppliers, proximity to this particular vendors and customers base, these are few basis of decision of locations. So for example, fast food chain restaurant used to decide a particular location that used to be very responsive to their customer by opening up lots of store in high volume market. So this is one of the example where fast food chain like your Domino's, like McDonald's, like your Burger King, they used to set up their store in the crowdy market, so that they can give very responsive uh, supply to their customers. Responsive means you act on the customer responses very quickly and very efficiently, so that your supply chain could be considered to be the responsive one. So one of these example is fast food chain location. They used to set up their stores in the high volume market, in the crowded market, where most of the customer used to uh, come for their particular requirement. So efficiency can be achieved by operating from only a few locations and centralize activities in common locations. An example of this is, first example was responsiveness, and this example is to efficiency. So an example of this is the way e-commerce retailers serve large geographical market from only a few central locations that performs a wide range of activities. So you can understand by these two examples that first example, like for the example of fast food chain, is the example that mostly answer the question related to responsiveness. And the whereas the second example, where we talk about the e-commerce retailers like Amazon, Flipkart, or Mintra, they used to set up their centralized location facility, warehouse location facility, um, uh, in a central location, so that they can serve a wide range of geographies, wide range of geographical market, and they can serve wide range of customers situated in different geographical areas. So here they wants to achieve efficiency. So basically, on both the sides, it is important. Facility and location is important. If you want to be more responsive, then you should reach to the customer's location. And if you want to be more efficient, then in that case you should decide a particular location uh, where you can serve a large geographical market, like some central location, like some common location where most of the markets, most of the customers can reach their place safely, or maybe in a short while. Like one of the example maybe like hub and spoke model, where the hub may be like a warehouse which is situated somewhere in the between, so that it can serve the entire supply chain activities. So if we talk about further facility and location, for manufacturing companies, warehouse, distribution center, and retailers, and why these companies used to decide their facility and location is important, because they want to cover large geographical areas. So, and the other one is like they used to obtain high economies of scale. They want to obtain high economies of scale. So for large economies of scale, they used to be situated in, say, in a central location, or maybe in a location where they can reach maximum customers and maximum retailers and distributors. And again, capacity. So there can be a thumb rule. It's not always be true for for every kind of product, but in case of most of the product, it used to be true like this. Like what? For a product which where the unit cost high, for a product where unit cost is very high, then in that case you should select a position which is which is centralized, which used to be centralized among all geographical areas. But other on the other side, the product where the unit cost is very low, in that case you may be having decentralized kind of activities. So in case of centralized, you must be efficient. In case of decentralized, you may be heavy. You must be responsive. For example, I in the previous slide that I discussed with you, in case of fast food chain, they used to have a decentralized kind of strategies. Decentralized means they used to locate their stores in different geographical areas, so that they can be more responsive. But in case of like e-commerce companies, they used to establish their store in a centralized location, so that they would be more efficient. So every supply chain driver is used to be measured on two sides. One side is responsiveness, and other side is efficiency. So utilization of idle time, that is again the objective of these particular facility and location. And again, there is a 80-20 rule which used to be true in most of the cases. Here it comes like this: 80% of the revenues come from 20% of the products, and to rest 20% of the resources are used in 80% of the products. So in that case, you should decide whether you want to be responsive or whether you want to be efficient. So according to this phenomena, you should decide where your facilities and location to be located. So this was the first driver. Now the second driver is inventory. Inventory is again one of the logistical driver. Uh, you know very well that what do you mean by the basic term, basic meaning of the word inventory. So here, what is that? Responsiveness can be had by stocking high level of inventories for a wide range of product. And additional responsiveness can be gained by stocking products at many locations so that they have to be the inventory close to customer and available to them immediately. So if you want to be responsive, if you want to be more responsive, then in that case you should have is high stock levels, so that anytime customer require the product, you can respond them immediately. So it is only possible whenever you have high stocking inventory levels. But this is about responsiveness. But what about efficiency? Efficiency in the inventory management would call for reducing inventory levels for all items, and especially of the item they do not sell as frequently. So if you talk about efficiency, in case of efficiency, if you want to achieve efficiency, generally, as we discussed in the previous slide, efficiency can be achieved in case you when you are dealing with the high cost per unit products. So in that case, you because it is high cost, you should be having reducing inventory levels for all items, and especially of the item that do not sell as frequently, like cars. Like cars. So also economies of scale and cost of saving can be achieved by stocking inventory in only a few central locations rather than putting it up into these decentralized location. Like central location, maybe like some distribution center, regional distribution centers, maybe like some cross-docking centers, or maybe some kind of central location where all your supplier and vendor can reach uh, in a minimum time. So here again, we are talking about both side responsiveness and efficiency. If you talk about responsiveness, you should be having high stock levels. If you talk about efficiency, then in that case, you should be having reducing inventory levels or minimum inventory levels or optimized inventory levels. So one of the example of efficiency is like the Toyota cars. They adopt these kind of strategy where they have minimum inventory levels and they talk about just in time. Okay, so this is about inventory. Obviously, this is for responsiveness and efficiency. But inventory, where is inventory is there? Inventory is there always whenever demand is not equal to supply. Either demand is more or supply is more. So again, inventory is not only related to for only required by manufacturer. Sometimes it is found that we have an assumption that inventory is only required by manufacturer. No, inventory is required by manufacturer, inventory is required by warehouse, retailers, even for customers also. Even for customers also. Sometimes we used to buy a product in bulk, like six bars of soaps. Like we generally have 2 or 3 month stocks of our inventory in our home. So inventory is to be kept at each level. Quantity is different, obviously, whether it is manufacturer, whether it is warehouse, retailers, or customers. So if the inventory levels high, then in that case you should be responsive, because uh, high carrying cost is there, production transportation cost is down. But in case if inventory levels are low, you should be efficient. You should be efficient in that case, because reducing inventory carrying cost, like cost of space, cost of safety, cost of wear and tear. So if you keep your inventory level low, then in that case you should be more efficient. So this is about for the measurement of inventory level. We used to have a term like called service levels. For example, 80% of service level means what? 80% of time we are able to fulfill the customer need. So on this scale, on this service level, we used to measure our inventory levels, that how responsive we are against the customer requirement. To measure the inventory, there are few methods or analysis, like Little's laws. You can do like this, where Little laws is equals to, Little law explains as I equal to D into D, but that is inventory equals to throughput into flow time. Again, there are a few more examples, like for measurement of inventory, that is EOQ model, economic ordered quantity model. There are several other models, like ABC analysis, VED, FSM. We'll discuss separately in case of inventory. But here you should understand that inventory is one of the supply chain driver that is most important to drive your supply chain. Now the next driver is transportation. Transportation is again a logistical driver. So responsiveness can be achieved by transportation mode that is fast and flexible, such as trucks, airplanes, and there are several other modes of transportations, and we discuss in the next slide. Many companies that sell their product through catalog or through internet are able to provide high levels of responsiveness by using transportation to deliver their product often within 48 hours or less. So transportation is required. Transportation must be responsive. In case any customer requirement arises, you should be so responsive and so that you can fulfill the customer requirement. I can give you one example here. FedEx and UPS, there are two companies that can provide very responsive transportation services. You may have heard these names, FedEx and UPS. They are very responsive in case of transportation service. They have their own planes, they have their own air fleet, they have their own airport, in fact, cargoes, in fact. And now Amazon is expanding and operating its own transportation services in the high volume market to be more responsive to customer desires. Now, efficiency can be emphasized by transporting product in larger batches, or doing it less often. The use of transportation modes such as ship, railroad, and pipeline can be very efficient because the cost per unit could be low in this case. In case of pipeline, you just need a one-time setup, and there is a small maintenance, and you can run it for longer period. But transportation can also be made more efficient if it is originated from the central hub facility or a distribution center instead of many separated branches. So in that case, you must be more responsive. So there are a few examples of transportation, like perishability of the product. Sometimes you need cold chains, like if you want to transport your product like ice cream or a milk product, so it required cold chain. You maintain a minimum temperature here. Outsourcing for 3PL and 4PL, shipment size, choice of transportation mode. There are several transportation modes are available. Cost of shipment is again one of the factor here in case of transportation. Selection of transporter, because there are few transporter like DHL is famous for delivery in Europe, but FedEx is very famous in delivery in America. So selection of transporter is again very important. And it is there are different mode of transportation. Obviously, we know that, but like the mode of transportation, again, in case of product like gases, there are pipelines. There are few pipelines that is being laid down by the government, and they used to supply CNG and PNG services through these pipelines. So these are about three logistical driver. One driver is we discussed with facility and location. Another is inventory, and the third one is transportation. Now we move towards the another part of the supply chain driver that is called cross-functional driver. The first one is information. Since it is a cross-functional driver, here you need to talk, you need to communicate between different stakeholders of supply chain. So information or information technology is a powerful tool that used to cater these kind of services. So the power of this driver grows stronger every year as the technology for collecting and sharing information become more widely spread. It is easier to use and less expensive. Information much more like money, and is very useful commodity because it can be applied directly to enhance the performance of other 5 supply chain drivers. So this is one of the driver. Information is one of the driver that used to derive rest of the remaining of 5 drivers. So this is one of the important driver. Information is one of the important driver. High level of responsiveness can be achieved when companies collect and share accurate and timely data generated by operations of other 5 drivers. So information is one such driver that independently can drive the remaining 5 drivers. Now, an example of this particular information is, you can say like this: an example of this supply chain that serve electronics market. There are some of the most responsive in the world. Companies in these supply chain, the manufacturer, distributor, and the big retailers are used to collect the data and share the data among customers' demand. If customer used to raise their demand, immediately it can be floated to remaining part of the supply chain, and that can be done only because of with the power of information. So this enable market companies in these supply chain to respond quickly to the situation and new market demand in high change and unpredictable world of electronic devices. So information is one such driver where we used to we used to transfer the information from customer to manufacturer and vice versa, like manufacturer to customer. So information and information technology is one of the biggest driver that used to derive remaining 5 drivers of supply chain. So there are a few technologies available where you can leverage these technologies: real-time data sharing between all stakeholders, electronic data exchange, enterprise resource planning, CRM, customer relationship management. These are few technologies by which you can use these particular information as a one of the driver. So identifying shortage and surplus, where is at what distribution center there is a surplus of material, and at what distribution center there is a shortage of material. So that can be communicated through information technology. So important to this is here it is important to connect the entire chain from manufacturer to warehouse to retailer to customer, and this is helps to manage inventory and transportation also. So information is one of the important driver of this particular supply chain. The fifth cross-functional driver is sourcing. Sourcing describes all those activity within procurement process concerning with the identifying and evaluating potential supplier, where your supplier is, who can supply these raw material, and at what price they can supply, and engaging with selected suppliers and selecting the best value supplier. So sourcing means where you to identify where your raw material source, where your human resource is available. So the outcome of this sourcing process is usually a contract or arrangement that defines what is to be procured. So in-house procurement, or sometimes it is based on supplier selection. So here one decision we have to take with ourselves. We have to ask from ourselves, like whether we should make it, or whether we used to buy it, make or buy. So we have to ask ourselves according to the situation whether we used to make it or buy it. So some companies may be good in manufacturing, someone else in good in marketing, some in good in inventory, some in good in supplier network, but it is very difficult and to be excellent in every aspect. It is very difficult that one company is very good in all such aspects. So we have to sourcing our requirement to some other company, those who are having specializations in a particular field. So companies generally focuses on their core competencies and outsource the other remaining activities to the expert of that particular area. For example, 3PL, 4PL. These are few terminologies that we use to define at the time of logistics, like third-party logistics, fourth-party logistics. So yeah, you can see somebody is making it, somebody is marketing it. As you can see in the wrapper of the product, you can see carefully that you can identify that somebody is manufacturing it, somebody is marketing it, somebody is importing it, somebody is taking care of your customers. So these are the factors related to sourcing. Now this last driver is pricing. Pricing is again one of the cross-functional driver. Pricing strategy refers to the approach adopted by the seller in determining their market pricing. As you may have having some logic developed during your economics, where you have different kind of markets and different pricing of those markets. The simplest pricing strategy is cost plus pricing, which used to involve calculating all cost and adding up the margin of the profit. There are many other pricing strategies, from differential pricing or target pricing or penetration pricing. Uh, for example, I can give you one example here. Like pricing is deciding with the imbalance between demand and supply. With the imbalance in this demand and supply. If demand and supply is having a great difference between them, then accordingly you can change your price, modify your price, so that you can keep these two things in a balanced situation. For example, there are happy hours in the restaurant where in off time, when customer doesn't reach doesn't reach at the restaurant, not in lunchtime, not in dinner time. So in that case, what the restaurants restaurant offers like happy hours, because they want to use those particular vacant seat with the customer, those who are price sensitive. Then metro fares on Sundays, whenever there are less travelers on metro, they used to offer a discount of 10% or whatever, so that they can fill those vacant seats. So this pricing helps to bridge demand and supply gap. So pricing is a tool where which is being used by many marketeers at different time to bridge this particular gap of demand and supply. So there are a few more examples of pricing, like you can say Wednesday Bazaar or Sabse Saste 5 दिन 7 दिन. Amazon's like recent Amazon offer with the uh, uh, Great India Sale, shipping free for 15 days, nominal shipping charges they are different. So in that case, you would be responsive and efficient both. If you want to be more responsive, the same product in at Amazon can be shipped in 24 hours, and the same product can be shipped in 15 days. Okay, if you are in a hurry, you require that particular product, you pay the price and you will get the immediate delivery. So in that case, the company must be responsive or efficient whenever it is required. So online shopping offers shopping free offer like this. Few uh, order more than 599, there will be shipping free, and offer bulk purchase by the manufacturer to retailers. So pricing is a strategy that used to balance the supply chain drivers, that used to serve the remaining uh, supply chain partners. So pricing is one such strategy. So this is about the summary of today's lecture. We discussed drivers of supply chain performance. There are 6 drivers, as you can see in this image. There are drivers like logistical drivers, facilities, inventory, and transportation. And there are remaining 3 drivers like information, sourcing, and pricing. And these are called cross-functional drivers. So these drivers are obviously linked to each other, communicate to each other, collaborate to each other, so that the entire supply chain can work efficiently. And above all, these drivers can be measured, can be evaluated on the basis of efficiency and responsiveness. So there are different strategies for responsiveness and different strategies for efficiency. So in all, number one driver is facilities. It means if in one sentence I can describe it. So facilities means the physical location in the supply chain network where the product is stored, assembled, or fabricated. Simple. Second one is inventory. It means all raw material, work in progress, finished good within a supply chain that is to be kept somewhere in the inventory. Third one is transportation. Means ultimately it means what? Moving inventory from one point to another point within the supply chain. If we talk about information, the cross-functional driver, uh, information means data and analysis concerning facilities, inventory, transportation, cost, pricing, and customers throughout the supply chain. So the work of information is nothing but what it used to connect all the supply chain drivers together so that the entire supply chain can work efficiently. Sourcing, the fifth one, who will perform a particular supply chain activity, whether I should do it or whether I should outsource it. So sourcing decisions are one of the supply chain driver. And the last one is pricing, how much a firm will take for the goods or services that makes available in the supply chain. So pricing in one such a strategy by which you can manage your supply chain, by which you can manage your demand gap of demand and supply in your supply chain. So this is about today's lecture. Thank you. Hope you understand it.